In this week's video, I'm going back to what I do best, and that is another bag review. Which bag? This bag, right here. Is that the classic shoulder bag from the Curated? Why, yes, it is the classic shoulder bag from the Curated. I'm going to get deep and personal with this guy. I'm going to chat through the design, what it's made of, pros and cons of the bag, now that I've had a chance to use it. So let's just see how this plays out, shall we? Back to another video, guys. I am particularly excited about today's video because I love me a bag review. There is something about objects that simply hold your belongings that just does funny things to me. I can't explain why, but it's my shtick, it's my jam. And in today's video, I am going to be putting this bag, this Curated Classic Shoulder Bag, under the microscope. Now I've got myself the original size, or the larger size, out of the two that are offered in this style, and it also comes in a mini size. And I originally had my heart set on the mini size because I wanted something a little bit more compact, a little bit more run around. But the larger size comes with two different straps. It comes with this longer shoulder strap that can also be adjusted to be worn crossbody, and it also comes with a shorter shoulder strap so that you can wear it sort of 90s style, whereas the mini shoulder bag only comes with the shorter style. And so because of typically how I use my shoulder bags, I do like wearing things crossbody. I ended up switching and going for the larger size. But I think the ability to wear a bag crossbody is important to a lot of people, and so maybe that's something that they will change about the mini shoulder bag soon. They often do take on a lot of customer feedback, but for now the mini shoulder bag only comes with the shorter strap. Now this bag has been on my radar for quite a while because if you follow the Curated's Instagram page, the founder, Nicola, she shares a lot of behind the scenes footage as to the design process, and she did that with this bag quite a bit. She was being very picky about the buckle, very picky about the type of leather and the shape of the bag until she finally released the bag, and I think it originally came out in black. This is a newer colour, the chocolate brown, and I think it's sold out for now. They're probably in the process of making more. But since then, there have been a lot of different colours that have been released in different leather finishes. There's like a mock croc style, and it comes in both dark and lighter neutral colours. This bag, I have watched it being birthed from the design process to it actually being manufactured. And now that I've met it in person, many years after Nicola decided to make the bag, it has been very nice to get to know it over the past couple of months that I've had it. Now let's kick things off by addressing the elephant in the room. And if you keep your finger on the pulse when it comes to handbags, then you will notice that this guy looks very, very similar to the Celine Classic Box Bag. The type of buckle closure, the style, the design, the smooth leather that this one comes in, the overall vibe, it's very, very similar. Now, it's not a replica, but it is a very, very good dupe. And so if you are conflicted about the similarities, then it is important to keep that in mind. In terms of differences between this bag and the Celine Box Bag, there are some key ones. The first key difference is the shape. The Celine Box Bag is a little bit more squarey in its shape, whereas the Curated version is a little bit more oblongy. I'm just going to make that a word, guys. Next up is the closure. The closure on the Celine Box Bag is longer and bigger than the one on the Curated bag, and the mechanism of the closure is different. So with the Celine Box Bag, you're meant to press it up and then lift it, flick it. I'm sure you're getting a very good picture from my excellent description. Whereas with the Curated bag, you just simply unlatch it like so, and it just comes off like that. The Celine buckle is a lot more hefty, and it just looks a lot longer as well. The strap situation is different too on each of the bags. With the Celine bag, you can adjust and remove the strap, and to adjust the different lengths, you just simply use the metal clasp on the bag to sort of move it to whatever length you'd like to set it. Again, amazing description. Whereas with the Curated bag, it comes with two different lengths, and it attaches with this buckle here on either side of the bag. And so you get the same look, and the strap is roughly the same width, but it attaches on the bag differently, and the Curated bag comes with a shorter shoulder strap, and so there's a little bit more versatility on the Curated bag in that it can be worn short on the shoulder as well, if that's your thing. Another key difference is where the bags are made. With the Celine bag, I actually don't know precisely where, but I'm assuming that the bags are made in either Italy or France, which is similar to the other Celine bags that I have in my collection, whereas the curated bags are made in China. And the curated do make quite a big point on their website of saying that they only use factories that meet international standards for social accountability. Now, personally, I don't know enough about this space in order to comment about it, but there is some further reading that I'll link in the description section below if you wanted to have a bit of a deeper dive. I think in a world where there's a lot of greenwashing as well, there's a lot of education in that space that I know that I need to get up to scratch on. And probably the most significant difference is the price. The larger classic shoulder bag is probably comparable to the medium classic box bag by Celine. The medium classic box bag by Celine retails for 5,900 Australian dollars, whereas this classic shoulder bag retails for 450. And so it's literally a fraction of the cost. The smaller teen size of the Celine Classic Box Bag, that one retails for $4,950, whereas the mini shoulder bag retails for 400 Australian. And so yes, again, the price worlds apart, but the overall vibe, very similar. So let's talk about the design of the bag. I think I focused quite a bit already on the exterior of the bag. It's just a very simple, minimal design. There's nothing at the back, as you can see, and it just has a strap that connects with these buckles here on the side. But let's go inside the bag. Let me just unlatch this metal closure here to reveal what it looks like on the inside. As you can see here, it's an accordion style compartmentalized system. Notably, the internal configuration of this bag is identical to the Celine Box Bag, and so you would use both of those bags in the exact same way. I don't know whether there is a place in my wardrobe now for the Celine Box Bag now that I have this one. This certainly satisfied my structured, compact bag needs. And considering the Celine Classic Box Bag had been on my wish list for years, the price was always just a little bit too prohibitive for me to go and buy it. So now that I have this, I am pretty pleased with it. In terms of the hardware, they've chosen to go with a brushed gold metal hardware, and this is a change from the original version of the bag. The original version of the bag, the buckle came with a really shiny gold buckle, which in my opinion, I think looked quite cheap and quite tacky. This one, on the other hand, looks a lot more luxurious and is very comparable to designer houses that use this sort of brushed gold style hardware. Another thing that is factored into the design is the ways that it can be worn. And so it's designed to have two straps that are removable on the bag. One is a shorter shoulder strap, and one is a longer strap where you can wear it on the shoulder as well as a crossbody. I have heard of suggestions that you can just remove the straps in their entirety and just wear it as a clutch. But there are buckles on the side which look like they need to be attached to something. And so personally, I just don't think that that's the most practical suggestion. I wouldn't wear it as a clutch. I also think that it's just a little bit too big for that purpose. I think that the bag can really only be worn in three ways. That is as a crossbody, as a shoulder bag, and as a higher shoulder bag. In terms of what the bag is made of, I have the smooth leather version of the bag, and this one is made from 100% calf skin. The Celine Classic Box Bag in the smooth leather finish as well, that's also made from 100% calf skin. I'm actually not too sure what the mock crop bags are made of, but the smooth leather version is certainly identical in its composition to the Celine version. The hardware is just a brushed gold metal, and the lining is made from 100% cotton twill. It feels quite durable. The colour matches the colour of the bag quite nicely. And the Celine Box Bag, the lining is lambskin, and so that's quite a big difference, and it probably cuts down on the weight and the cost as well of this bag. Now, I think it's worthwhile talking about weight, because I think for a bag that is rather compact like this, there is a lot to it, and so it is on the heavier side when it comes to smaller bags. I did plonk this on the kitchen scale. This one weighs in at over 800 grams, whereas my Celine Trio, which is my usual runaround bag, that weighs in at a lot less, and so I think that's important to keep in mind when you're factoring in what you're buying the bag for. Now, I received this a couple of months ago, and I did receive it in the height of summer, and so I have only really managed to style it with sort of summer outfits and hot weather outfits. I do think that because of the shape of the bag and the fact that it just looks so dressy, the bag is much more appropriate for the colder season. It's more of an autumn winter bag. I think with a tank top and denim shorts, it looks nice, it looks okay, but I think that those sorts of looks warrant something that's just a little bit more cash, whereas I think that when you're wearing a flowy coat, for example, or a trench or a jacket, having a bag like this that adds a bit of structure, it adds a lot more contrast to your outfit, which is why I typically only see bags like this or like the Celine Box Bag styled in winter looks. It just seems to go much better together. Now I do think the bag is quite weighty, noticeably so because a lot of my runaround bags are quite light. I've got this ultralight Patagonia bum bag thing. I have my Celine Trio, and I also have my nano luggage, which is quite weight considering that's semi-structured as well. This one, I am quite careful with what I take with me. I don't pack it too much because I don't want the bag to get so heavy, but I do fit my wallet, my keys, my phone, as well as my vlogging camera when I'm taking that around with me, and it is comfortable. It's comfortable to take around, but I try not to pack too much more in there. I don't take my makeup pouch or anything like that, even though there are quite a few compartments that can be utilized. Now on the internal configuration of the bag, there is a lot happening here. It looks like the world is your oyster when it comes to what you can take in the bag, but really you can only use this main compartment because this front section, while it's here and it does open up, if you were to store anything bulky in there, when you go to close the bag, as you can see, there's not much room there. What would happen is that the bag would be misshapen. You'd be able to see whatever it is that is sort of bulky in there, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work with the overall look. And so the front section is arguably the one that has the most happening. There are these two internal side pockets within that front accordion section, which I've only really used for bobby pins and parking tickets when I go into the shopping centre and get my parking ticket. Not the actual parking ticket that you get for parking illegally. I don't park illegally, people. I'm a very responsible driver. Just the ones you get in the shopping centre. So that has been the use for those pouches. But perhaps I will store my love letters in there, or whatever it is that Coco Chanel uses to justify weird compartments that really aren't functional. This zip section here, I haven't really used either. I guess you could put your phone in there, but I'm always reaching for it, or my phone's in my pocket, or I'll just chuck it in this main compartment here that I don't really need to keep anything secure. And it's also got a slit pocket between the zipped pocket and the main compartment. So there's a lot of leather happening. There's a lot of internal configuration, but I think functionality wise, it's really only this one compartment in the middle here that you really can use. Similarly, if you were to put anything bulky in this zip section, then it would misshape the back of the bag. The idea of it is that you want it to be nice and smooth. You don't want it to be lumpy and bumpy and weird looking. Unless of course that is your jam, in which case go nuts. Put marbles in there, put toy trains in there. They're very bulky and would misshape things. But yes, apart from my gripe about the internal configuration, I do think that the bag is very beautiful, and it's been a really welcome addition, especially to my off-duty wardrobe. I can see myself wearing this to events and things like that. I can't see myself using this as a work bag because I take too much with me to the office, but it's certainly a dressier off-duty bag, more of a date night bag, more of a going to the theatre bag. I don't remember the last time I went to the theatre, but that seemed like a really mature suggestion. Going to the ballet or the opera perhaps, going to a wedding, that's something that I've been to recently, but you get my drift. It's a very mature, classy, minimal bag. I can see myself using this for many, many years because it's just so simple in its design. I can't see it really ever going out of style. It's not a trend-based bag, and that's what I love about it so much. If you are looking for a great dupe for the Celine Box Bag, then I would suggest that you check out this one, the Curated bag. And because of the way in which they design their pieces, they do improve things as time goes on, and so perhaps we'll see an improvement to the mini shoulder bag that'll come with a crossbody strap. Who knows what's going to happen? So I hope you enjoyed my little comprehensive deep dive into the Curated's classic shoulder bag. If you had any questions, then pop them in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And if you like this video, then be sure to hit that thumbs up button so that I know that you did. If you're new to me, then I post a fair bit of personal style content on my YouTube channel. I also post stuff about workwear as well as luxury handbags. And so if you want to see more of that stuff and if you want to hang out more with me, then make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. I'm sure I will see you guys next week with a brand new video. Until then, bye!